Kate Middleton accidentally shared what George and Charlotte call their dad, and it's just too cute. Prince William is a man of many titles. At the moment, they include His Royal Highness the Duke of Cambridge, His Royal Highness the Earl of Strathern, and Baron Carrickfergus. And of course, one day, he'll take the name of King. For now though, instead of any complicated titles, his young children call him a sweet nickname. In 2011, William married Kate Middleton, after having a relationship with her since 2003. The wedding was an extremely high-profile event, as befitting for a future king. In the UK alone, 26.3 million people tuned into the event live on television. That same year, the governments of the Commonwealth decided to change the law with regards to any future royal heirs. From October 28, 2011, royal children were ranked in line to the throne based on the order they were born, not on their gender. Previously, a female child would have been knocked down the line if a brother was born after her. As it turned out, the first child of William and Kate was a boy. This was Prince George, who was born on July 22, 2013. News of his birth was greeted with great excitement, as he would almost certainly one day be king. In fact, when the time came for him to be christened, the Royal Mint created commemorative coins to mark the occasion. A few years later, Prince George gained a sister. On May 2, 2015, Princess Charlotte was born. Her full name was revealed as Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, with her first middle name in honor of the Queen. Her second was a tribute to Diana, William's late mother and the grandmother of his children. William and Kate didn't stop at two. On April 28, 2018, they had their third child and second boy, Prince Louis Arthur Charles. And little Louis made history from the moment he was born. He was the first male child placed behind an older sister in line to the British throne. Obviously, the three children of Kate and William will never have entirely normal lives. Despite their parents keeping them out of the spotlight, the media still attempts to report on them. And even though they're kids, they're considered fashion icons. Brands often receive boosts from pictures of Charlotte in their clothes. The Duke and Duchess reportedly try to treat their children like normal kids. Indeed, this might partly come down to the way William himself was raised. His mother, Diana, supposedly changed the way that royal children were brought up. She let William and his brother Harry have a range of non-royal experiences, like, for instance, holidaying in Disney World. In fact, Prince George may not even know he's supposed to be king one day. In July 2018, a royal biographer, Catherine Mayer, told E! News that Kate and William had decided not to tell him until he was older. With George, they are trying to delay that moment of realization and give him normality before they thrust this on him, she said. It will be, nevertheless, part of his upbringing, both in terms of what he sees his parents and grandparents doing and probably quite soon a beginning of an understanding that he is in public life and what that means, Mayer went on. William himself knew that he would be king ever since he was a child. Of course, no one will get the throne until the current queen dies or abdicates. But even though she's 92 years old, she remains active and is seemingly in good health. And even though she holds the highest office in the land, she still makes time for her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. According to the Daily Mail writer Richard Kay, William had a rather unusual name for his grandmother while he was growing up. When William was 2, apparently, he fell over in front of the Queen and started crying, "Gary, Gary." When a visitor asked who Gary was, the Queen explained that William hadn't yet learned how to pronounce Granny. One would probably receive a hard stare after calling the Queen Gary without the excuse of being 2 years old and her grandchild. But her closest family members are permitted to give her nicknames, it seems. Prince Philip, the Queen's husband, allegedly calls her Cabbage when the two are alone. This detail, in fact, is featured in one of the many screen versions of the Queen's life. Specifically, it pops up in the 2006 movie The Queen, starring Helen Mirren as Elizabeth and James Cromwell as Philip. I inquired in royal circles and was told on very good authority that that is what the Duke sometimes calls the Queen. The screenwriter Peter Morgan told The Times that year. Nastier nicknames have been used for the Queen throughout her life, and some even came from other family members. The disgraced King Edward VIII didn't get along well with his family. In letters released in 1988, it transpired he called Elizabeth II Shirley Temple after the child star, and it wasn't meant to be flattering. But what about the new additions to the royal family? Apparently Prince George calls the Queen, "Gone Gone." Kate revealed this in an ITV documentary which aired in 2017. "George is only 2.5 and he calls her Gone Gone," she said. And speaking about the Queen's relationship with her grandchildren, Kate added, "She always leaves a little gift or something in their room when we go and stay." Apparently, Gone Gone is a nickname that's been in the royal family for generations. It's what several royals have used for their great-grandmothers. William and Harry apparently used the term to refer to their own great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother. And Charles used the same for Queen Mary. The members of the royal family who are not related to Queen Elizabeth by blood, such as Kate and Meghan Markle, are allowed to call her Mama. But they have to get to know her first. According to Majesty magazine editor Ingrid Seward, Meghan will call the Queen Ma'am first before switching to Mama. As for William, he's been through a lot of nicknames and monikers. Part of that is because, when he was younger, his identity needed to be kept under wraps. As a young man at the University of St. Andrews, William's friends reportedly called him Steve in order to keep him inconspicuous. Even Kate, who went to the same uni, might potentially have called him that. And William has quite a plethora of surnames to choose from. Technically, his last name is Mountbatten Windsor. Windsor was the royal surname chosen by King George V in 1917, and Mountbatten was the last name of Prince Philip, William's grandfather. However, both Prince William and Prince Harry can use Wales as a surname in the military. When Prince Harry joined up, he became known as Captain Wales. However, William is also known as the Duke of Cambridge, and he can use the surname Cambridge if he so desires. So can his 3 children. Over the years, people who intently listen to royal conversation have picked up on the pet names they call each other. And Kate has a nice one for William, according to Australian TV presenter Charlie Albone. He claims to have heard the Duchess calling her husband, babe, when they were at the Chelsea Flower Show. Meghan Markle has also been overheard calling her spouse by a cute name. In April 2018 she attended a performance of Hamilton and took photographs with Harry and the cast afterwards. While she was doing that, she apparently slipped up for a moment and called Harry, "my love," and everyone around them went, "Ah." Royals aren't really supposed to show displays of affection in public. It's considered unprofessional, since attending events together is technically their day job. They don't even hold hands if they're being photographed together. Even the Queen doesn't hold hands with Prince Philip. Meghan and Harry, however, are a little different. They're constantly showing public displays of affection, hand-holding, shoulder touches, even actual kissing. There is no protocol that says they cannot show affection on official engagements, and these gestures make them relatable and lovable to the public, royal specialist Mika Meyer told People in 2018. There was once even a time when royals weren't huge on showing public affection to their children either. When Prince Charles was born in 1948, for instance, it was into a family that seemed to believe children should be seen and not heard. Queen Elizabeth reportedly often left him behind at home while she attended to royal responsibilities abroad. Things are very different for Prince George, Princess Charlotte and baby Prince Louis. Kate and Prince William actually took George with them when they went on their first royal tour after he was born. At 8 months old, George spent 3 weeks in New Zealand and Australia with his parents, spending time at playgroups as he went. George isn't completely free from the demands of royal protocol, however. Perhaps you've noticed that he always wears shorts? That's a long-standing tradition of the British upper class. Boys are supposed to not graduate to trousers until they're 8 years old. So George still has a few years to go. The royal children reportedly have a very strict nanny, so discipline is involved in their day-to-day lives. But no matter the rules they must follow, Prince George and his siblings are still allowed to be children. And that even involves getting to call his father something other than father or dad. Kate let the nickname slip during a visit to the English city of Leicester. In October 2018, a helicopter crash happened there and 5 people were killed, including Leicester City Football Club owner, Vichai Srivaddhanaprabha. Kate and William had gone to pay tribute and leave some flowers. Prince William actually knew 2 of the victims of the helicopter crash. He knew Srivaddhanaprabha and referred to him in his tribute speech as a man who cared deeply about his family and his community. He also knew pilot Eric Swaffer, whom he mentioned as a man I had the privilege to fly with in the past. Though it was a tragic occasion, Kate and William did get to have some light-hearted talks with volunteers they met at the stadium. Kate met Leicester City fan Fiona Sturgis, who was helping to move the floral tributes away from the stadium. And so she talked to her about the children. Sturgis told E! News the details of the conversation she had with the mother of three. Kate said that William was playing football with the children last night and one of them said, "I think it was George, are you playing football tomorrow, Pops?" she told the publication. When news of that reached the wider media, some people seemed very amused. Pop is reminiscent of the name of a 1950s American soda shop, diner or drive-thru, online magazine Bustle wrote with glee. The fact that a 5-year-old British heir to the throne tosses that around to his super distinguished dad, priceless. Seeing as how the royal visit to Leicester was a special occasion, no matter the tragic circumstances, William and Kate were given some gifts to take back to their children. Leicester City FC and their team had created personal football shirts for them. And William joked on receiving them that the kids would probably fight over them. It's nice to get insights into what really goes on inside the royal household. Although Kate and William want privacy for their children, often they reveal details the world might not otherwise have known. For example, according to Prince William, one of George's favorite pastimes is dancing. Kate also talked recently about her experiences as a parent. In January 2019 she helped launch a London-based charity helpline for families, Family Line, and made a speech at their offices about how she had experienced motherhood so far. She got surprisingly candid about how hard being a parent could be. "Everybody experiences the same struggle," Kate said. "You get a lot of support with the baby years, particularly in the early days, up to the age of about 1. But after that there isn't a huge amount. Lots of books to read. And it's not just her who's willing to talk about the difficulties. Prince William is too." William revealed in 2019 that his prior experiences as an air ambulance pilot impacted him with regards to his kids. "I still find it very difficult to talk about it," he told world leaders at the World Economic Forum in Davos. "I get very emotional about it because it relates very closely to my children." So for Kate and Prince William, as for most parents, raising young children is full of both ups and downs. But the kids are growing up fast. Before long, Prince George will probably have to learn that he might one day be king. So Prince William will likely treasure being called Pops while he can. Thank you for watching video.